Hello, happy Thankful Thursday. How are y'all? So want to give everybody a minute to get on and welcome to our connections and questions. Check out these fun earrings from my sister. Aren't they great? I hope that you had a great Christmas and a happy new year, and just want to take about the next probably 35 minutes and then just talk through money management. And because we are going to talk a lot about booking, and we've got our New Year workshop on Saturday, but we are not covering this subject here. So let me see if I can get these in my ear pretty easily. If not, I may just be one earring in. Sorry, I was up with Tom. And thank you for all of your prayers. He is doing exceedingly and abundantly better than we could have ever imagined. So we are super excited about that. So it is Thursday night, September, silly me, January 6th. And of course, we are excited for Saturday morning from 9 to 10:30. We are doing our mid-year awards. We're also kicking off a new promotion that Mary Kay just kicked off for all national areas that they've never done before. I'm going to talk to you about that. We're going to talk to you about all the places that you can win for becoming a red jacket, which is 3 team members by the end of this month. For the weekend that we've got here, we're going to talk to you about Career Conference. It's the next company event that's open to everybody. We've got some great ways for you to just hang out with the winners. And how many of y'all would agree that you become like the 5 people you hang out with, right? So if you're looking at the money you're making, just look at your 5 friends. They're all making the same amount. So we want to change not only your finances, but emotionally where you're at, and then also in your abundance. It's all about powering up, right? Powering up your thoughts and your actions and your habits and your heart, and truly figuring out your dream life. And so whenever I'm talking about money management today, so again, just real quick, 9 to 10:30 on Saturday morning, is our mid-year awards. That means you're going to hear from all of our queens. You're going to hear from all of our new directors, our DIQs. My gosh, we've got an amazing lineup. For you all that want a little more, we've got some other opportunities from 10:30 to 12. Just let me know and I'll get you that Zoom ID. Locally, we were going to do an event. I don't know if we are. We just got like 6 inches of snow. And if you know anything about the South, that there's no telling when we'll dig out. I definitely don't know when I'll get out of my driveway. But but definitely plan on the 9 to 10:30 for sure. Also, I tried to get as many of you all invited as I could. Veronica Landry is doing a Facebook party tomorrow night. Many of you all have asked, how do you do like a Facebook party? And she's doing it for a whole unit. But you're going to be able to, if you haven't been invited, shoot me a message and we'll get you invited over there. It's 2022 New Year something, I think, but I'll get you invited on that. But you will learn so much about how to do a live on Facebook, because as we talk about money management, right, one of the things that we want to think about in the terms of Mary Kay is that there are so many streams of income on the retail side. There's up to 10 streams of income. I'm sorry, 8 streams of income for a consultant, right, through team building. There's 18 streams of income for a director, and there's 24 streams of income available as a national, right? So we know that on the team building side, but there is also so many different ways that you can make money just by being a smart shopper, getting your own at 50%. And then what we want to do, and everything that we're putting together, all of our programs, everything we're doing is to get your skills in place so that when you meet somebody, that you can take them like full circle through booking them, showing them the products, allowing them to purchase one of the sets, setting up a second appointment, there's a million different ways you can do that. I'm going to talk about that. Also letting them hear the facts on the company, and then going into our Prestige Client program. Either they would be on your team or they would be a Prestige client. But then that way they're able to have like the full Mary Kay experience, right? So they're going to get a chance to try lots of products. You're going to have a chance to really be able to work together with them. And so I just want to show one slide really quick. Again, I'm not going to dive too much into it tonight because we go through this quite often. But let me find my little handy dandy, right? We did a Monday night event on this. But you know that everything that we do in Mary Kay, first of all, it is going to start with a why, right? Your why. Why are you doing this? What is it that you want this to do for you and your family? Let me bring this up so that header doesn't necessarily mess you up. If you're like me, if there's something else there, it'll drive me crazy. But what we want to be able to do when we're talking about money management, many of you all also are brand new. It's 17 new consultants last month. I'm also going to talk to you quickly about the free bundles. Hopefully you've had a chance to talk to your consultant about that. But if not, we want to make sure that you know about all the free products that Mary Kay is wanting to give you. But the idea in Mary Kay is, first of all, just think about your list of people. We're always talking about your master list of 30 people that you would love to bless with this product, right? And that can be leads from your email list, your phone, your Facebook friends, church, business owners, people with skin, basically anybody, mother, daughters, but just kind of making up a list of 30 people that you like. And then you flow them into, normally I try to flow them into the Skin Analyzer app. Hey, I'd love to, let you try the Skin Analyzer. Again, we have a whole training on this, but then it goes into a virtual appointment or an in-person, where they're going to get a chance to either try the products through samples, or if you're with them, you'll be able to do that. We want to do what's called a dream session. That's where we just answer some questions about the company. We can go really deep, but it's really just answering some questions they've got. And then the second experience of some sort that they would be working with. Okay, so the reason that I wanted to kind of talk to you about that, and then you head into the Prestige Client Program. So all of that, I know that was quick, so you can screenshot that. But to understand that most every time that I'm training, I'm talking about this funnel. Like, how do you take that one person, right? And then you funnel them through every experience available, right? So I love the skincare app so that we can show them their skincare with that. And then we tell them a little bit about Mary Kay. Gosh, you never know. It might be for them. It might not. They might know somebody. I just think it makes them a better client. Most of the products that I purchase now, I do research. I want to make sure that it's supporting. If I can purchase from, a local business, I'm going to do that. I don't mind paying more. I want to know where last year I sold stock in a really big company because I don't agree with their values. And my husband and my financial advisor is like, you bought this when this first came out. And I'm like, yep, but it doesn't align. And I don't want to support that. I don't want to be a part of that. And so, it's been kind of funny because I've been abundantly blessed in other ways. But, again, like I just find that people right now, that's why there's the great resignation. People are stepping away from their jobs because they want their life to matter for something, right? So we also want our money to amount to something. So I think telling people how you make money and what we offer, right, allows them to be a better client, or maybe to jump on board with you, right? And then, of course, we train from there. But then it flows into what we call the Prestige Client Program. And there's a lot of benefits with that. But the one I want you to think about tonight is, what if we could take 10 people, just 10 people, and we could work together so that you could have them try a Skin Analyzer app if they like that. If not, you can try some product on the back of the hands. If y'all work together, just do the skincare on the back of their hand. If they're long distance, you can mail them a cup, just like a little strip of samples. Now, I don't mail them many, just like one. So it's just a little stamp. Does take a minute. But we just kind of do that. But, a chance to kind of try that product, that you could go through that and then be able to answer some questions. Now, the second appointment, right? So you've got this first appointment that's skincare. You're going to tell them a little bit about the company. Your director will help you with that. Then on this second appointment, we've got a lot of options, right? Y'all know every Monday night, we do like the first 30 minutes is more product driven. And so you can invite guests there. That second appointment could be to get together with you and some friends, and they could get some free product. Okay. And we can get you some more information on that. They might want to maybe just say, send me a little more samples, and they might want to do something through Facebook Messenger video or FaceTime. Maybe that way, get together one-on-one, or maybe they want to do a Facebook party, or maybe they just want to give you some referrals. The thing that I do with my clients, if they give me 3 referrals of people that get together with me, I count it as a party. I give them the same thing, right? So, because some people don't want to do a gathering. So there's a lot of ways that people can, at their next appointment, be able to earn product, right? So if you'll jot this down, it's a 3-2-1. Our client incentive program is very, very simple. It's a 3-2-1, right? It's 3 friends, 200 in sales, and 1 sharing opportunity so that they hear, answer a few questions or, ask us some questions. So it's 3-2-1. And as long as there are 3 friends, right? So they could refer them to you, or it could be on a Facebook party, or they could snag some friends to hang out with you. Do you see what I'm saying? 200 in sales. And then just some facts on the company. Well, guess what? They just qualified for the Prestige Client Program. I love that because the biggest thing about the Prestige Client Program for our clients is 4 times a year, Mary Kay comes out with new product, and we got some doozies coming out. I'm talking, some of y'all have mentioned maybe my skin looks better, and it does because there's maybe some stuff coming. And so that's kind of fun. But whenever there's new products that are launched, our Prestige clients, they can do a little gathering. Again, they can do a Facebook appointment. They can do those 3 referrals as long as they get together with you that month. They could do a little gathering of some friends, however you want to do that. Again, as long as they have 3 friends, 200 in sales, and somebody, here's the facts on the company, well, then they get any of our, that client, whatever Mary Kay is offering, guess what? They get that at 50% off. And with what's coming, that's a really big deal, right? So the first time somebody is booking with you and they've got friends, we just have it where they can get 1 of the sets for free. But those people that do the first appointment and they chat with you, and the second appointment, they go into your Prestige Client Program. So they've checked those boxes, those 3 boxes. Well, now, then 4 times a year, when they get together with their friends, right? 3 friends, 200 in sales, 1 sharing opportunity. Then whatever Mary Kay's launching, that Prestige client, not the other clients, just her, she gets hers at 50% off. So now the reason why this is so big is that if you had 10 people that qualified for this program, right? And if you want more information, if you'll go to our website, okay, let me show this to you really quick. If you'll go to our website, I don't know if it's on there or not, but it's www.mkdreamteam.net. Again, let me know if you need that again. If somebody's listening in, you can kind of type it in. The password is MK2020. And if what you'll do is go under Prestige program, Crystal Gardner, our #1 future $1 million director, has done like a 45-minute training on this. So you can get a lot more information on that. But I want you to think about this. What if you had 10 people in your whole life, out of all the people you know, just 10, they got together with you 4 times a year and had 3 friends? That's 120 people you don't have to meet. Right? Because they're going to do 3, 6, 9, 12, right? And 10 people doing that, right? So think about that. So you would never be without leads. So everything that we talk about when we're talking about money management is being able to save you time so that you're not spending your time trying to meet people. You're not spending your time trying to do things on social media. And remember that you can always, right? So we've got appointments is one of the ways that you can unlock streams of income. You have reorders, right? When people get on the product and they love it, right? Then they want to be able to get that from you. Another fun way is just going in on your client group. All of y'all should have those. Jamie says she sent out so many samples. So you've also got, you can go into your client group and maybe once a week have the product of the week and show them how you use it. You don't have to take off your makeup if you're not comfortable with that. You can do it what we call QVC style, like you just hold it up and just say, oh my gosh, here's this product, and just a little bit, some fun things about it. You can try it on there and then just say, look, whenever 10 of y'all treat yourself to this, we're going to do a drawing. Somebody's going to get theirs for free, something like that. I like to do some sort of blitz, something like that. Then I come back in and type in the names of all the people that I think would like it after I get done with that live stream. Then I type their names in it because then it tags them, lets them know that it's there. So you can sell products that way. You can sell, I'm telling you, your purse needs to be huge. You need samples in there. You need some things so that you can just do it. Some of those mini sets, again, when you're just sitting there, well, hey, let me try it on the back of your hand. I always keep a very dark, like the darkest matte foundation and the lightest. Okay. So whenever I show skincare on the back of the hand, I'll do the cleanser, right? And then just keep some like baby wipes, just keep those with you. And then so that you can just wipe those off, right? So you just wipe that off and then you can put on the moisturizer there. They can feel the eye cream like right here. And then what you do is just say, let me show you the difference. So if I'm Caucasian, right? So I would take the darkest and just put like a little dot there and rub it in. They'll be able to see the difference. And then take the other dot and put it over here. And it's like crunchy, like crusty. And then that's how you can kind of show them what happens whenever they take care of their skin. Right now, if somebody is bronze, we would do exactly the same thing, only we would use the lightest foundation. So you want to do the opposite. It's what we call a hand facial. And I'm telling you, I do these all the time. Whenever I was becoming a director, when I was in the military, this was the majority of my appointments were done on the fly like this. And so we just did it like that. We didn't have cell phones and stuff, but now you've got to create a roll up and you can show her the special. So y'all can, seriously, if you've got 5 minutes, you can work like that. Okay. Again, I would love to see every consultant have at least one Facebook group going a week. Right. And then we've got all the things for you to be able to post. You just carve out about 20 minutes. And then what you'll do is you'll schedule all the posts. You'll come in live, right? You book in it with a live and brag on your hostess and, or your client, why you're excited. Maybe she'll even come on with you. I don't know. Just talk about that. And then tell them that, you want to be able to do a beauty chat with them, that's how their friend will get credit and that they can go ahead and set that up. That's the conversation afterwards, and then tell them, here's what we're going to be doing. Here's what we're giving away. This is what I would love to be your consultant. And this is, the satisfaction guarantee. You might want to post a picture of the promise, our product promise, so you've got all that. And then at the end, right, then you're inviting everybody, just saying, now join us 7:00 on Thursday. And I'm going to send all of y'all the Skin Analyzer app. And then I'm going to come on and I'm going to wash my skin. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So you're ending in a party. So all of our friends would jump on there with you at 7 and they can jump on. If you want to do Zoom, you can, or if you just want to just do it live Facebook, then they can follow on or they can just watch. So I like to bookend those. So you're talking just very few minutes, right? To be able to set that up, maybe 10 minutes, right? That's even like a little bit long, but to kind of set it up, your poster there. And then the, what I call a PJ party, I have my head up in a band and all the things that go along with that. And then I just take them through the skincare. And then I go through the sets. And then, of course, I've already been talking to them. Everybody that is jumping in there, I'm private messaging them. Hey, girl, it's so great to meet you. Thank you so much. If you could change anything about your skin, what would it be? What questions do you have? And then we've got conversations going on within the Facebook group. And then I got conversations going on with them privately. So we're developing this friendship and this relationship so that whenever it's over and it's time to do the beauty chat, where we find out what they like and the specials and all that, well, that's easy to book because they're excited to talk to you because they probably already been talking to you. So again, I just want you to realize that it does not take a lot of time, right? So there's a lot of ways that you can work. Would love for you to kind of post the one that you like the best tonight, kind of the idea. And then what we're going to do is jump down here to money management, because this is one of those things that honestly, I will tell you, it is it's a career builder, and that is to figure out what you want your Mary Kay money to pay for. Okay, and I just use this as an example here. And that you would have a sheet like this. If you want a copy of it, just let me know. But like a picture of your goal. Let's say you wanted to go on a trip. Of course, aren't those getting exciting? So it might be a piece of furniture. It might be paying off a credit card. It might be something fun. Might be a weekend getaway, whatever it is. But let's say you need to profit $500 this month, right? So this month you need to profit $500. All right. So then what you're looking at that you want, now this is for this month, then you need to sell, right, about $1,250 because we work on a 60-40 split. All right. So what you're looking at right here, which is really fun, is if you take $1,250 and you divide it by 4 weeks is $300. And that's only three sets a week. So that's 3 miracle sets a week. That's it. And again, you can do it any way that you want to, but the key is find out what you want to do with your Mary Kay money. And I will tell y'all, there's two kind of whys. There's the why of maybe paying off debt or a trip or furniture or paying off Christmas, maybe even, right? Whatever it is, like there's a material, like there's a monetary something that is tangible, like you can kind of put your hand on it. Then there is what we would call an emotional why. Whenever I got started 34 years ago, when I was in the Air Force, my why was I wanted to be at home with our daughter. I loved being in the military. I designed and installed computer and telephone systems. I have the equivalence of electronic engineering degree. My career was set. And it was all fine until I met the man of my dreams and we got married and had our daughter. And then my priorities shifted. I did not want to work the hours that it would require me to do what I needed to do in the computer world and to travel how I had to travel and to do all of that. And my husband and I, we were just like, oh my gosh, I don't know what we're going to do. We were, again, just trying to figure out some things. Well, the lady that watched our daughter is the lady who led me to the Lord. And she's the lady that introduced me to Mary Kay. And it was whenever I went to my first Mary Kay event, y'all, was the first time I had ever seen powerful women, like alpha females kind of women, that wanted to use money to invest in people, not to buy more things, not to buy more houses and all that. Not to say they didn't, and not to say that I haven't. But what I mean is that it was using money to make a difference eternally, externally, internally, like making a difference, investing in missionaries, investing in people, and then to use their gifts and talents to train up people so that they could change how they thought about money and be able to think about a new life. And then they talked about the golden hours, that 3 to 6, that, when mamas are home during that time, I always laugh. There's nothing good that happens after 10 o'clock at night or from 3 to 6 with kids by themselves. And so I wanted to be that mom that was there. I just knew I couldn't be at home all the time because I would go nuts. And for y'all that can do that, yay for you. But that's not the way that I'm wired. But I knew that time was important. I believe in it. For me, for the way I was raised, I love dinner together as a family. So I wanted to be able to have dinner. And so Mary Kay worked perfect into that. If I could have built it, right? This was my thing. If I could earn a car and become a sales director, I could match not what I'm making in the military, but what my job offers are, which at that time in 1988 was about $48,000 a year. So you can look that up, kind of what that would be now. So my whole why I was working my Mary Kay, even though I was $35,000 in credit card debt. And even though I wasn't, there was other things I should have worked on. None of that moved me like the idea of being home from 3 to 6. Like I lived in my last day in the military in my head. I knew exactly what I was going to, our daughter was going to wear on the last day of daycare. I knew exactly where I was throwing my combat boots over the bridge. I knew exactly what we were having at dinner as a family. I knew what my day was going to look like. I knew what my week was going to look like. I knew what my month was going to look like. I was going to go see my parents. I mean, like I had like that day, that one day was so clear in my mind. And that's what jumped me up out of bed and then just kept me up all night long. And so that no matter what I did in my Mary Kay, whether I made a goal or missed it or had to move the date or whatever it was, it didn't matter because I was closer to getting at home with our daughter. And then 1 year later, whenever we were able to do that, I qualified, but then the military doesn't just let you out when you're ready. So it was about 18 months later whenever I was able to do that. But that's what I mean by a why. What is your why? Maybe your life is financially in a great place. Maybe you love that, but maybe your spouse maybe would love a different life. Or maybe there's a parent that needs maybe upgraded help, or maybe there's private school for your kids. Like what would be, if you could make great money in Mary Kay, what could you do with it? So the reason I say that before I get into how to work your money is, number one, you got to know you got the time. And number two, you got to know why you're doing it, right? So you want that tangible, that $500, $1,000 that you're always working on, right? So you can say, well, Mary Kay got this, Mary Kay did this, and Mary Kay did that. But with the idea of something bigger, maybe it's funding a college fund, maybe it's funding your 401k, right? Maybe you don't want to work for somebody else. So you want to be able to maybe start a Roth IRA with your Mary Kay profits. So again, because what we want Mary Kay to do is to give you options. right? So I know I've covered a lot already. Would love to know kind of what you're hearing on this. I know a lot of y'all are coming back listening to all of this as well. So that is the key on money management. So I just want to kind of take you back to this page right here. Right here. So again, make sure that you get this page and let your director know how you can get there. Now, the other thing, you can be like Jamie Pittman, who's a brand new red jacket, which is 3 active on your team. And here's some other streams of income that you can qualify for. And just take a look at this. If you've got, oh, shoot, that's not true anymore. We just have to update that. Sorry about that. This red bonus just went away. But you can take $100 off of that. But if you got 3 new team members, right, your commission check would be $144. And you would still get $50 for each new qualified team member, which is $150. So that would be $294. Plus, Mary Kay, whenever you're in your first 4 months of the business, every time you add in a Great Start qualified team member, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get $220 in free products. So I want to just kind of come off of this just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about, because this is huge. Y'all, whenever I got started, I got nothing free. Can I tell you? Nothing. I didn't get anything free. Some of the things that I used to do, I'd get a little ribbon. Now they get like, gosh, y'all are getting like side-by-side refrigerators. It's kind of funny. But again, if you're a red jacket, right, if you just added in your 3 new team members, most of y'all joined last month. So you still have the bestie coupons, which means your friends could join at $25 off. That ended last month, but most of y'all came in. Yay! So I want you to think about this. Again, if you just had your 3 girlfriends and they ordered at least 600, it's better to order a little bit more, and I'm going to talk about that. But you would get 100, right? $144. Okay, so here's this. So you've got this, say 100, and we'll split this up. So basically 150, right? Now you have one of those are Great Start qualified. Here's another $50 for Mary Kay. And then here's another 50, and here's another 50. So right here, look at this, 100, 200, $300 cash coming in from Mary Kay. And those $50 bonuses come in within like a couple of days. But also for every new Great Start qualified team member you have during your first 4 months, Mary Kay lets you select $220 in free products. So you just added 3. So here's 220. Here is $220 more. Here's another $220 more. That's $660 in free product, plus your $300 cash. Y'all, that's right at $900 in free products and bundles, just for adding in 3 team members, and we'll teach them everything that they need. So when you start thinking about, showing a little bit of product in your group, and maybe doing some Facebook parties, and maybe doing some things on the back of your hand, and then your team members are coming in, I'm telling y'all, you can really start adding up some money there. So it is really, really a fun thing that we've got available to y'all, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. Yeah. So, oh, good. Jamie, you're so cute. And I love all of your things on there. She said she's gained the best sisterhood, right? Don't forget, you're also going to get great friends with that too. So here's the other thing to kind of take a look at, and that is with your money. Okay. Let me do one other thing really quick. You may want to do a screenshot of this. Remember that you get to order your products at 50% off. So, making sure that you are head to toe in Mary Kay. So this is another reason, based on your, based on the size of your first order, which we're going to talk about in just a minute, there's a lot more free product involved for you. So, take a look at, gosh, if you could get all of this at 50% off, gosh, wouldn't you do that? I always say to people when they're like, oh, I just don't know if I have $30, or I just don't know if I could get started. And I'm like, that's so crazy. If you want to believe that, that's fine. But do you have a Sam's card? Do you have a Costco card? I'm thinking, like, if something came in the mail from Target and said, you could get started for $30 for our Target Club, and you could buy 50% off, for the next couple of months, and you'd be like, well, yeah, I would do that. Right. It's the same thing in Mary Kay. So, just thinking through, again, money management is not only making more money, but keeping more money. So this is something to just kind of take a look at to make sure that you've got all of your products right there. And then the last set of free products, I just want to kind of run through this with you really quick. These are our free bundles from Mary Kay. And y'all, it is crazy great crazy great. I am a huge advocate of inventory. I started out with a full inventory, even though I was broke as a joke and really in debt. My logic, I'm not telling you it is great logic, but my logic was I was so far in debt that another couple of grand didn't really matter. That's not good. Don't think like that, but that is how I thought. Now, what's really funny is if you fast forward 34 years later, the sizes of our inventory are exactly the same as they were back whenever I got started. The difference is now when you're looking at, again, depending on where you want to start, but even taking a look at, our largest inventory, for somebody that wants to, earn a car, step up into leadership, wants to grow clients, wants to have all of that, would be about, I don't know, about 4,500. Well, that's less than a semester of college. I mean, that's less than what you lose on a car when you drive it off the lot. That's less than almost a room full of furniture. I mean, with inflation has gone up, but ours has not. And in fact, we're doing a little bit of a price increase next month. Very little. I mean, we haven't done one in several years. It's like $2 a product or something. It's very, very minimal. And so, but think about, in perspective, especially with the 90% buyback. Now, I'm going to tell y'all that we do have a 90% buyback because we're a member of the Direct Selling Association. But very, very, very few people do that. In fact, last year in our unit, only one person did that out of all the people who came in. You can't do Mary Kay again because the company destroys the product and then they cut you a check and then they ask for commissions back from us. So, I mean, it is a safety net for consultants. So if you ever think, gosh, they're just trying to front load me with product, we're not, because if you don't sell it, we're not making any money either. So Mary Kay asked, she wanted to have these protections in there. That's why we like to coach you on the best place to start. And that's why we give you so much education so that you're able to work with that. But I just want to kind of run through this with you really quickly and would ask you to get together with your consultant, again, based on what it is that you'll want to do. I'm going to see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Hold on here. Let's see if we can do this a little bit bigger. These are all those bundles that I'm kind of showing you over here. Whenever I'm doing this, these are the bundles and you get to pick out the ones you want. But let me show you. I think this will make it a little bit easier to see. Oops, there we go. Let's do this again. Try it again. Okay, one more. All right, so here we go. So let's say you're somebody that is like, you know what, I'm just so excited about the possibilities in Mary Kay. And let's say you wanted to start out like I did with an Emerald Star. That's $3,600 wholesale. That sounds like a lot until you realize that our our repair set is $200. So 5 sets of that, and that's gone really fast. We've got 20 shades of lip color. We have 6 formulas of foundation. We have 6 different skincare lines. So even at this top one, you don't even get anywhere near one of everything. And I teach what's called a deep strategy. In other words, I would rather you have fewer items and more of those real popular items than I would for you to go across the board. That's why we are always talking about our create a roll-up sheet. So this is why this is what we show people, because we're targeting. So like if you're just always handing out books or you're doing the e-catalog, the problem is they're all over the place, right? But whenever I'm showing product, what I want to do is focus them, again, kind of funnel all those 300 or 400 products we've got into these right here. And I did that partly because as a business coach, I couldn't figure out what to order people. So what we do is based on the size of your order, we help you with that because, when you're doing anti-aging, you do row number 1. When you're doing extreme masking, you're doing row number 2. When you're doing glamour, you're doing row number 3. And then you've got your add-ons from there. So that's why we really do work with that. So whenever we come back here to this little sheet right here, where we're talking about, what does that come in that, right? So you're looking at about 20, 25 clients a month. You're going to get 6 of the bundles, right? So these 6 right here, right, that you could also get for team building. Doesn't it make more sense to be able to get $1,100 in free product and to be able to get the $660 for team building? And there's some more free product on there. My goal for my working consultants, just so that y'all know, if you wanted to work with us, is to get you anywhere between $2,000 and $3,000 in free product. And that is for those that want to start out with quite a bit of product, right? Then there's some other little ones along the way, and then team building. So if that's something you're interested in, text your consultant really quick and say, look, I want all of that. So we can come up with a plan for you for sure. Okay, so we'll jump back here again. So just to kind of let you know, So if you just kind of go right along here, 3,600, you can see that gives you about 8,000 in product. It doesn't even take up that much room. You can put it in a couple pieces of luggage, put it up underneath your bed or maybe a linen closet so that you've got it. As you know, everything continues to slow down. Weather, we just got like 6 inches of snow. It's crazy, so everything is stopped. It's nice to have products on hand so that your clients can come get it from you, which is really good. You're getting all of the skincare lines. You're getting both ivory beige and beige bronze. You've got a full set of glamour. Boutique is more like your like men's care, body care, those kinds of things like that. And that would be your total cost because you've got tax on there. We do some samples, some different things like that. And that would make you an Emerald Star. So you're going to get a huge prize from the company that you can build up to that. Talk to your consultant about that program. We just enhance that and it blows your mind, right? But you might say, gosh, Diana, that's just too much. Then you could drop back, right? Now we take away one of these bundles, right? We take those away. And then what we do is you drop down to this one and it's a diamond and you can just kind of see the pattern here. It's only 3,000 wholesale. You're going to get 5 of these bundles right here, get to pick out 5 of those for free, which is really, really nice. You're still getting all 6 of the skincare line, but you're either getting ivory beige or beige bronze. The full amount on that's only 3,800. That's like nothing. The first money that you generate in your Mary Kay every week, right, is going to pay for that. It's not a loan from you. I'll show you that in just a second. You may say, Dinah, that's too much, right? So you might want to jump down to right here. You can see the Ruby Star. So we'll take this one away. So you're still sitting here. You still got 4 of the bundles, which is really nice. So you're getting, you see, just go along here, $842 in free product. You start to see we drop back on the skincare lines, start dropping back on basic, like the boutique. That one is only $3,100. The lowest that I like to see people start, just for me personally, I love the Sapphire Star. This is my favorite. It's only $1,800 wholesale. You're still getting $684 in free product. You're getting 2 of the roll-up bags. And what I mean by that, when you look over here at this sheet here, remember we were talking about that? So basically you would get 2 of most everything that's on here, right? If you were looking at the Emerald Star, right, the one at the top, basically you're going to get 4 or 5 of everything. So that's what I mean whenever we're going through that, okay? This one, I love it because it's part of your accolades. You start qualifying for referrals from the company. You get to order early. So that's kind of my favorite. There's a $1,200 and then the $600 wholesale. You're still getting $333 in free product. It's the lowest that you're going to get free product. You can order less than that. Your first order just needs to be $225, but you don't get anything free. So that's why, this would kind of be where you would take a look at that. But again, look at these bundles. This is on your first order only. So I did want to kind of run through that with you just so that you could see all of the free products that Mary Kay wants to set up for you. So the one thing I do would love to know, like, what are your favorite parts about this, or kind of what questions do you have? Again, talk to your recruiter about that, because remember, we're talking about building a client base, right? Our idea is to help you grow your client base, grow where you're using more products head to toe. And if you have it on hand, you can use it. If you use it and you're excited, you're telling everybody about it. And so it just kind of perpetuates itself. We've got the training in place for you if you plug in. So we're not going to force it on you. But if I could make anything mandatory, it would be our Monday night events. Truly, that's because you're going to learn about the product. You're going to learn all about all of the skills. We just kind of rotate the training. You get to hear from our top people. It's at 6:30 to 7:30 Central is where you're going to learn what all you need to. We've also got our website, mkdreamteam.net. The password is MK2020. It's lowercase. And you've got that on a sheet from me anyway on your welcome package. But there's lots of training in there. I would highly suggest that you stay off of Mary Kay InTouch. Definitely stay off of any extra training that's out there. Would not go to YouTube, would not be following a whole bunch of people. Not that all that is not great information. It's just too much information. So what we tried to do as a consultant, you all got a little link from us. And if you will just go through those 4 links, then and watch those videos and talk to your recruiter as you're going through that, instead of even getting up on the website, instead of doing anything, if you will just focus in on those next step links, your next step in your business. So when you go through the first one, when you get to the bottom, it gives you the link to go to the second one. And then when you get to the bottom of the second one, then you go to the third one, you get to the bottom, that would take you to the fourth one. And then whenever you get done, then I send you like this little goodie package. So it's really fun whenever you do that. But what it does is it has you get everything set up the way that it needs to. One of the things that I would highly suggest that you do is put in at your bank, just snag a couple more accounts. You probably can do that online wherever you bank. Just grab two accounts that you can get debit cards. Okay. And then we'll show you how to work through your money. Tonight, I just want to kind of go through all the free products, but you'll see the money management that we've got on there. But again, just if you wanted to do anything just to kind of get ready, just go online, snag a couple of accounts, pick one of them to be your primary, and that's where you'll have all of your money going into that account, because it's going to ask you what account do you want to set up for your credit card processing and your direct deposit and all that. So maybe when we get done tonight, just jump over again and get those set up, or run to the bank tomorrow and just get those set up. Normally, if you set them up with the accounts that you've got now, then you don't have to put a whole bunch or put any money in there. You can just have those two for your business. Then when we teach you how to handle all your money, right, it will make a lot more sense. The only other thing I want to talk to you about money in these last couple of minutes is that if you did want to carry some products on hand, we are having really good luck with the Mary Kay Rewards Visa. This one is really cool. It's right whenever you go on to your Mary Kay InTouch site, when you put in your consultant number, it's probably like right there. And then you can go right there, see where it says Mary Kay InTouch, select business tools, select the rewards visa, and apply now. And then whenever you're approved, just take a screenshot and you've got your number that you can use right then. This is really cool. It's 0% for a year. There is a 3% cash back the last time I looked at it. And there's a $100 statement credit after you invest or spend $500 on there. But you will get your number right away. The problem with it is we can't figure out what their algorithm is to approve or not approve. Most people, it takes anywhere between 5 and 7 opportunities or options to get money to get started. But this is a really good one. The Apple Card is great. The Discover It is 14 months, no interest, the last that we checked. Check with I like US banks. They will give you a number like within 24 hours. And then, of course, we've just kind of got some other ideas here. So what we normally try to tell people, that is so funny. I was going through all of that and I did not screen share. How funny. So this is what we were talking about right here. Sorry. This is this is the sheet. So if you want to screenshot that, let me get that a little bit smaller for you. You can screenshot that right here. So that's the Mary Kay Visa. This is, some of these other ideas that we've got there for you. I like for people to use the bank's money to get started instead of your own money, because you feel like you've spent money. So whenever it comes to your free product bundles, first of all, decide yes or no, do I want to carry products? Yes or no? You need to answer that yourself. We'll take you with the toothpick and toothbrush, and we're excited that you're in our family for sure. But you have to decide kind of on this, what kind of experience do you want for your clients? Do you want your clients to wait on product? Do you want them to not have products to be able to exchange if it doesn't work for them? Like, again, I started with products because I wanted to wow the few people that I knew. I didn't know many. I needed that experience to be wow. So I knew if I had products on hand, if they wanted to exchange something or whatever, I would have that. So again, that's why I started out with product. But the first decision is yes or no. Then the second one is, let's take a look at financing. Like, where would you maybe pull together those funds? You might want to try some of those ideas. Again, if you do the Mary Kay one and you get approved, just take a screenshot so you've got that to work with. Or if you need some ideas, they call me the wizard. So we can give you some ideas from there. And then the third is, how much do you want to invest? How much free product do you want to get? Right. So yes or no. Then where will I find the money for that? And then number 3 is how much free product do I want to qualify for? And then we can take it from there. So I hope you've enjoyed tonight, just trying to pull that all together. But I want you to think about all the avenues of income that are available to you in your Mary Kay. Again, you've got the savings for you, right? Head to toe in Mary Kay. You've got clients that are you're just going to pick up clients that love the product. You're going to be able to do some of those hand appointments I was just telling you about. You've got samples. You've got Facebook parties. You've got where you can get together with people face-to-face or on FaceTime, and you've got all of that. Then you go over to the team building side, right? And then Mary Kay from the company's profits, right, is going to pay you commissions for growing your team and growing the company. And it's just, so many different things. So I know it was a lot. Okay, so kind of clear your brain, talk to your recruiter, and let them know what your thoughts are if you've not already decided on your first products. If you've already started and you've already made that decision, the next thing that I'd love for you to talk to your recruiter about is your why. So start talking about, why it is that you want to work your business, and then y'all can take that and then look at your schedule. So that way we can figure out when would you do a little bit with your FaceTime, when would you do your lives, how would the Monday night work in? That doesn't, we can get you on another one. So there's 3 things that I love for consultants to do is figure out your why. The other is your schedule, and the other is make a list of 30 people. So that's kind of your cornerstone pieces of your business, right? So you've got inventory, free product, right? You decide what you're going to do there. Then you've got, right, why am I going to do this? How am I going to fit it in my schedule? Right. And then the 30 people that I'm going to be a blessing to with this. So that's what we're going to be working on as we are out there running together. So again, just let your recruiter know your favorite part of tonight and kind of what your thoughts are. And then let's start working on your free product bundles and your why. Okay. Bye-bye, y'all.